Thank you for joining Let's Plays Disco Elysium Part 36. So last time I promised you that we would have a look at this data file.
Tiles on the cube are still smouldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Insert the off-site copy.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press play again.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
We're quite familiar with her by now. Blah 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 blah. Hey, I might have a password for the off-site copy.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Say, afterlife, death.
No, that's not it.
Ah, damn.
Maybe it's the second part of the leitmotif you saw on the stained glass window.
She really needs better password security, but say after death, life again.
Good. I've unlocked the offsite copy.
Woo!
After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Ka-ching.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do
Nope,
for you?
nope,
Thank you.
Thank
Tiles
you.
on the cube are still smouldering,
Right.
casting the framework in a
Press
soft
print.
glow. It sounds like something cracks before the piece of paper starts filling up with pure black ink.
Black!
Something's broken. Machines aren't supposed to behave like this.
Remove the off-site
The
copy.
filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Did we break it? Did we break it? Well, the filament seems alright, but the printer is fucked. Read the printout.
The paper is soaked with ink, its monochrome darkness spanning from margin to margin. It's not possible to make out any information.
Ah, what happened? It's just covered in ink.
Odd. Something is obviously broken here.
Okay, we pumped our perception, so it's like amazing. So if there's something to spot, we're gonna spot it.
A single speck of white shines out from the shade.
Ooh.
For some reason, the printer decided to spare this one tiny dot of paper.
Is it the white bear?
Marked by the devil
The
itself.
devil itself.
This must be the information Sauna is looking for.
Okey
Chino
doke.
tiles on the cube are still smouldering.
That's what she was after. We'd better get it back to her. Do you think she'll be annoyed that we did this, or impressed? I think impressed. Wait, I think we can actually fast travel to the church now. I think that's a new thing. Or just something I found out recently. It could be that. Here we go, map. And church. No, we cannot travel to the church. Perhaps we need to be out of the building at least. We can do that. So it all does seem to be getting a bit spooky and ghosty. A zone of silence. Believing it or not, there's no denying it is getting spooky. Where's that post box that we're supposed to go and post things into? Let's just have a quick look at the map again, because I mean, surely we've got to be running past it sometime. Well, we definitely don't seem to be able to fast travel. Is it outside the whirling? Oh, didn't we kick it at some point? I seem to remember giving it the boot. Let's have a looky. Not that, not that. Over this way. This, right?
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
I knew we'd get to use this mailbox for something.
Yes, for sending mail.
Drop the white envelope into the mailbox.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon. Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug, Everard. You know he's going to play you somehow.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
Okay. Is it good time to go back to Everett? I think I might change my items to my trusty little tear bag. There we go. We don't need the torch out anymore. I'm gonna run for us, mate. He doesn't seem like he is gonna. There we go. Something there, something there. Ooh, what we got? Just 3 morale. Ooh. What's this? A book. Free book. Can't argue with that.
The file cabinet stands steady as ever.
I think we've looked through everything in here. And we fiddled with the phone quite a lot as well, as I recall. What's that? What is this? He's really not running today, is he? What's the best way to go? Not this way. Down these stairs. Come on. I don't know why he's being so slow. Yay, you can run. Chance we can have another look at this door?
Before the cargo container.
Unlikely.
Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Dear. Doesn't seem acceptable that there's something we can't do. We must solve every mystery, including ones that aren't mysteries, such as locked doors. It's never great fun talking to Everett. I mean, it kind of is, but... Right, so the whole chair thing is torturous, right? He's going to make us sit in a torturous chair, I assume. So we kind of want physical instrument and composure, probably? Composure... that doesn't help. Are we as much physical instrument as we can be? We are. Composure. Do we get anything for composure? Pain threshold. That'll help. +1 composure for the shoes. Endurance. Oh, pain threshold, okay. So composure +1. That will probably do. Let's hope. What are we thinking? This is not a fishing rod, is it? Oh, that.
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success.
Glowing.
That's such a relief. Titus can be a handful sometimes. Now, what can Everard Clare do for you today?
Okay, well, it's done. I've mailed the signatures you asked for.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry.
He claps his
Of
hands
course,
together.
I already knew this.
It's like a child who's just been offered candy.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a real future, Harry, and I feel I can finally trust you now.
I think we've both just about got the measure of each other.
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi.
Oh,
We can talk about
charmed.
anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Judging from how happy he is, it looks like you did it. He doesn't appear to suspect trickery. Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in. You don't know his full plan. Perhaps he expected trickery. Perhaps the signatures weren't important. The point is, do not think you're ahead of him.
Did you order the hanged man killed?
Order it. You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
Why are you so fat?
Glad you asked. I've got type 2 diabetes because sugar and fat was all my mother had to give me and my brother Edgar when we were kids.
Oh,
Good job too, as it made me ugly. And ugly people, Harry, are much better at politics.
That is true. People don't trust pretty people.
what do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
Have you ever heard what 2 giant Saray's hornets can do to an entire colony of bees? They destroy it.
I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies.
He crosses his hands contently, thinking of the interior temperature of the wasp rising.
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men.
So he doesn't care if people die, basically.
The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
Fair comment. How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing.
Wow.
We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, Even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
He looks at the swordfish clock and nods. It's already happening. So who did kill the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
A guy, huh?
How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own
doesn't
mother.
he?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
Okay, the signatures I got. I know you plan to force them out with the construction noise.
Harry! By now, you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland. There's nothing left. But mark my words, officers. We are going to reset it. Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans
Ooh.
living in those pig sheds on the coast.
Or
That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
what do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
Youth supermarket church complex? Do you really expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that. And then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
Wait, but will you erect a statue to yourself?
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in a zone hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
You would look nice as a statue.
Knew you were up to something.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
He replies like a whip.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labour organisation in Revachol. And they're all well motivated, at least the ones you've seen.
How are you going to fund your new independent harbour?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
You can't possibly hope to continue like you have. Clients will leave en masse.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
That's just the top of the iceberg, though, isn't it?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column. We're going to transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
He slams his fist on the desk once more.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
Drugs are a no-go for me. I'll report this.
Yes, of course. And while you're doing that, please go ahead and also tell the Wild Pines. I want to hear them squeal from the indignity.
Nothing in his features betrays any concern.
Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbour's turnover, just like the harbour is, but a small part of Martinez.
Go on.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel.
Welding.
I'm going to unite them all into one economic body. We're going to incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's going to be in on the wealth, and everyone's going to pull their weight.
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
Hold on. I don't want to look at the big picture. I want to look at the drug trade you almost admitted to.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. The hypothetical raw materials trade is off the table. It's such a small and insignificant slice of revenue, I'm cutting it. Boys. Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering?
Honestly, it's not my place to judge or express an opinion.
Harry, the length you're willing to go to keep your nose clean is remarkable. You will always have a warm bed in Mr. Clare's household, my friend, and a special place in the future of Martinez.
So, question is, would he really cut the drug aspect out? How can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
Fine, where is it?
An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word
An
on the
old
street
woman?
is she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway,
He smiles and shakes his head in wonderment.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you. Don't worry, Harry.
the neighbours of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
She was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character.
A character.
I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
It sounds like a very disturbed and desperate individual.
Yep.
Unstable is good, actually. She will be easier to disarm. No, wait. Actually, unstable is pretty bad.
Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
Okay.
There it is again. The pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
That's what she calls herself.
I, for one, find it refreshing finding
Yeah.
someone calls themselves a pig.
A smile flickers in the corner of his mouth.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
Can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock,
Okay.
near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
Okay. So, a bit of a window of time there.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Can I ask about specific union members?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry.
His eyes are shining.
You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters.
Ah.
But I'm in big time mode, Harry.
Mind you, he probably already has run his mouth about it.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big time mode.
Okay, that's it for now.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Suddenly, there's sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
So, should I talk to him about the drug trade? Okay, so I've just finished investigating the local drug trade.
Ah, yes, your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Phony, yeah.
Actually, Revachol doesn't have a mayor. He refuses to discuss it further. It's probably just a small nuisance to him.
Well, I think it will become a big nuisance
Not
if
even
we're...
a speck of anger in his
careful.
voice. That's that then.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now. Okay. We're pathing to the exit. We're pathing. Come on then. Right, let's see if Everett was right and he has more to say.
Oh, hey, mister! I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting,
Ah.
just like we talked about before. I know you're probably a busy busy man being an important police officer and all, and personally, I think the more people keeping the peace, the better.
Leo, you seem to know everyone around here. I want to ask about someone.
Mr. Everett doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys.
Tell me about
Who did you want to talk about?
Tell me about this Edgar guy you keep mentioning.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
South Safari. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made too.
Tell me about Everett.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer. Tell me about Titus.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort old Titus is.
Tell me about Measurehead.
Oh, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying.
That's probably good.
Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Tell me about Manana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Tell me about Renee.
The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once.
Hold up. Gaston was your human studies teacher.
Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then. Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
I think that's all Leo can do for me. Oh, we've definitely dug up some information about folk. Can't be bad, can't be bad. Where am I going now? Didn't want to go up there. Not really. We'll go down here. So I think we should do some interviewing of our to the whirling. Klasia. That was her name. You can also tell the cryptozoologist that we've got Kuno to stop raiding his traps, or at least he's promised to.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're sceptical, but I have a good feeling about this.
I had a chat with this kid, Kuno. He promised to stop stealing the locusts.
So it was just a child.
He pursed his lips, crestfallen.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Kuno kid or the missing locusts. It's something else.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right. We can come back next season when it's warmer.
He breathed carefully, not to start coughing again.
There won't be a next season. Not for this. Find a phasmid or admit defeat, people.
Okay, we've come too far to quit. I'm going to restock the traps. Let's do this.
We are getting really carried away with this, aren't we? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
Really? It's too much, officer.
He starts coughing again.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
She nods to her husband.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
This would show them all. We need to get you on that list of discoverers. No question about that.
Did you know that Gary was hiding that arm?
Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
I don't know what got into him, officer. Thank you for letting him off easy. He won't forget it. We'll make sure he won't.
Right. I feel like we've done lots of side missions and we're going to crack this case. She's made around 4 months of payments for this room. Okay.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it.
We figured everything out about this window already. It's been smashed and replaced.
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a weary smile, leaning back against the railing.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
The Hardy Boys told us what really happened.
I understand.
She puts her coffee mug on the table.
Just like that, resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
You don't look surprised. You were expecting this.
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth.
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry
am the
for
police.
wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two. Then move on to questions. No, it's not good. It's the opposite of that. This will let her dictate the terms of your... Shush, I can't hear what she's saying.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me.
She looks at her
Out of the
feet.
shit I'd gotten into.
Is she implying the Hardy Boys are the law?
Whoa, 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 whoa. I am the law. The law. That's me.
I know that. But the people around here, they don't see it that way. And if I am to stay here, I need to get along with them.
That's not a good enough reason.
You're right. There's more.
More?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
She reaches for a new cigarette.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, golden grey in the noonlight.
What lies beyond it?
The Pearl, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Aranye, the old, old world.
And that's why you're looking over your shoulder. You're afraid of the moral intern.
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
She lights the cigarette. What's going on? What did you do?
Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will...
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
There's a wince and a pained little smile.
Here we go. For once, you seem to have her off guard. Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
Why did you call the cops if you're hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
The answer comes fast.
Which is an indicator of truth. Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
So you would have us believe, but you're not.
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob. Once. Just one time.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. Thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishol.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible. Oh God, that was a lie too. Who made the call then? She did, of course. Don't be paranoid, man. It's unbecoming of a police officer, and it makes you sweat.
When was the window changed?
Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
She takes a drag.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
In her bedroom? Inside?
Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah, what happened the night he died?
We were there. Together.
She points to the
In
window.
bed, I mean.
The silhouette of the bed is visible. Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I could.
A great pain moves through her, a dark and indefinite wave. She continues in spite of it.
I knew he was dead before he fell down on top of me.
You were right. He did enjoy the moment of his death.
Should I mention it? Wouldn't be massively tactful, would it? But are we tactful? So my feeling was right. He was enjoying the moment of his death.
Yes, but how did you know that?
You know how.
No.
He just had a hunch. Detectives have those sometimes.
Another hit. The lieutenant looks at you in acknowledgement.
Then what happened?
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs.
There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms at her sides.
I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Ooh. Your cigarette, miss.
Oh.
She looks at Dickington and quickly tosses the butt aside. I'm sorry this happened to you.
So am I.
She immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Titus said you looked pretty high.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No,
What did you do then?
nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, through the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot, just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman. Run past them and out into the streets where it's dark and people move. To the lorries at the intersection, as far as you can.
Why didn't you run away from here, as a matter of fact? Why are you here now?
I already ran. I ran from an entire Isola. I can't run any further. Not with these people. This is as far as it gets.
What did you have to do to have these people after you?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravachol, or even in Oranje.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again, with a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
He taps on his notebook.
The job was Lou's doing County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lou Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
But she really destroyed them. She still feels it.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Lowe's cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
Papalolo?
Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me.
That's a lot of shit you've gotten yourself into.
It is. Many people lost their jobs. Not just C-suite. Ordinary people. What I did to get to accounting...
She shakes her head at the thought.
A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
I am solving a murder.
That can wait. Look into her eyes. There's more.
What did you do?
One of them killed themselves because of me.
Shake your head. That's not easy to deal with.
How do you deal with anything? It's all just... How do you do it?
She looks at you with pleading eyes. By not remembering a single goddamn thing.
That would do the trick, yes.
She has almost devoured the cigarette she lit. She looks at it sadly. What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
Before we continue, who is Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
She says as if it's self-evident. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
Oh, big news.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not?
Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does.
She looks at the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. Then, what did you do?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
This Ruby, where is this Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later. What are you doing? Coming up with a theory. She said Ruby knew something was wrong before she said anything. How come? It was loud downstairs. She couldn't have heard the shot. It is ominous. You already coming up with theories that put the blame on someone other than Glacia.
When it happened, did you hear a gunshot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot.
Did you kill Lily?
What? Why would I put myself through this insanity? Get myself cornered like this?
There's silence.
He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
It could have been a desire murder. Maybe an act of jealousy. He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun lying around, close to her hand. A military weapon using jacketed ammunition. Now, you guys suddenly have theories pouring out, when they're obviously just stabs in the dark.
You must have had a weapon nearby. Did you use it?
No. I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor.
The bullet in his head. It was a jacketed military grade. Who else here has a military rifle?
I don't know. His friends have rifles. Maybe those psychos did it. Coalition military have rifles. I'm not a munitions expert, and I did not shoot him.
She might have been a tad disingenuous when she avoided talking about the bullet in his head before. Look who's waking up from 1,000 years of sleep.
You've lied to me about this bullet before. When I said he was shot, you said you're confused.
I've said I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? I did my best not to lie. It didn't always work.
Downstairs people have this crazy idea that you killed him.
I'm sad to hear that. They must have said it in some fit of frustration or under pressure. They couldn't have meant it. I've talked to them after it happened. No one has implicated me.
It's okay if you did it in self-defense.
I did not kill him to defend myself from rape. I told you before. That wasn't what happened.
Desires drive people loco.
She simply shakes her head.
Okay, well, that's a firm no from her. Okay, I'd like you to answer some other questions.
Like what?
Could the people after you have killed him?
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
And?
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone.
She looks at her cigarette.
So they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
But maybe it did?
I just don't know. I don't know anything.
We can't go after loose cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
Okay, I think we're done
She
here.
nods silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door.
He's thinking, are we done here?
Are we?
Or should we arrest her? She's a flight risk and she lied to you. She should be taken into custody. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. This guy won't budge. You have to wake Multiface up, forcefully, if you want to continue pushing her.
In God's name, wake up!
Who? What? Dear God, you've been lied to. She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She's not candid at all. She's smoke and mirrors and will-o-wisps. She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately before she further entangles you in her web of lies. Take it easy. Don't overcompensate with this course correction. Ask questions first. Yes, start at the top. Choose at the bottom. It's how we've always done it. No rush. See?
So it looks like we can ask a few more questions, but I think we'll be doing that next time. Thank you for watching Let's Plays Disco Elysium. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And if you're not already a patron, how about joining, getting exclusive artwork, more videos, becoming more epic. Thank you for watching and farewell. Thank you to my epic patrons who make videos like these possible. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe.